Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Third Lining It. What not to do, and why not to do it. So I was listening to Ra Uru Hu about the third line, and a purpose for the third line is to share with others what not to do, what not to waste their time on, why not to do something. It's part of the purpose of the third line to expose unstable foundations so that people don't waste their time building something up that'll simply crash back down with time. And so with that out of the way, let's look at this chart over here. You see, this chart is of a 3-5 unemotional generator. This is a 3-5 pure generator. And so what do we know about that? What does that actually mean? Well, the 3-5, this is a profile that receives a lot of positive expectation from other people at first. For you see the unconscious fifth line, and that's exposed, that's shown right here. There's a 28-5 and a 27-5. This is the sun and the earth of the unconscious design. And this demonstrates somebody who receives positive expectations from others, and they're able to deliver on that or not. It could be said as a seducer. And so this means that this person is unconsciously seducing other people to believe in them and to place expectations on them. However, the third line of the conscious personality on the other side isn't necessarily aware of those projections until it bumps into it. For you see, this third line is very materialistic, and it learns through what's called trial and error. It is going to find wherever an unstable foundation is, especially being in the personality. And so this person receives positive expectation from other people, and then their third line personality pushes something to the limit and bumps up against something. It is called a mistake by other people, and boom, the reputation is destroyed immediately. And so that's the first thing we know about this person with the 3-5 profile, is that they receive positive expectation and they're generally destroyed afterwards, and their reputation can be very polarizing, let's put it that way. And so we also know that they're a generator. They have one channel down here. This is the 952, a format energy of concentration. So this person has the ability to concentrate and move step by step towards perfecting the pattern of life. That's what's possible in truth for this person. And that's only available if they're following their strategy and authority, which for this person, it means waiting to respond to life. It doesn't mean going out of their way and making something happen. And we'll talk about that more soon. But the truth of this being is waiting to respond because they have an open and enveloping aura as a generator that is attracting life to them. And if they respond to the timing of what life brings them, there is the natural unfolding of a correct life. And it's quite beautiful. Now, enough of all the good stuff. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 undefined centers in this chart. So there are 7 fundamental themes of life that are not fixed, that are open to conditioning, that are, especially in the beginning, they're ripe for controversy and trial and error and just nonsense. And so what kind of nonsense? Well, if this person is not responding, if they're trying to initiate something, their primary goal is here in the heart center. The first thing that is most important to the not self of this person is to prove to other people that they are worthy and to receive validation from other people. And how are they going to do that? Well, let me tell you, they're going to avoid the truth and they're going to avoid conflicts by gathering attention about things that don't matter in order to find love and direction. You see, because if they find love and direction from somebody else who they're going to really hold on to, because it makes them feel good to have somebody else, then they can finally pretend that they're certain to somebody and they'll believe them. And they don't have to feel mentally weak. And that's the basic structure of what that not self is going to do. You see, this person has the 29th gate here in their sacral, in their defined sacral. And what does this 29th gate do? This 29th gate says yes. It's called the abysmal, the deep within the deep. Can I do this with you? Can I take this from you? Yes. Can I something? Yes. Can I abuse you? Yes. Can I mistreat you? Yes. That's how this force begins in the life. It's simply saying yes to everything. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's yes, I'm ready to make commitments. You know, I'm dedicated to something. Because the thing is, on the other side of this 29 is the 46 up here in the G center. And this 46 is called pushing upward towards heaven in the classical I Ching. And as part of the full channel here, there is the capacity to succeed where others fail and fail where others succeed. And so there is the necessary ability to make a commitment to something where other people would not succeed. However, that element is not fixed here. The person might think it is. The person might think, oh, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And you know, that's their open ajna up here. This open ajna center is determined to be certain about things. It can never be certain. It has no fixed mechanism of seeing or thinking. Conceptualization as a function is, well, it's about as unlimited as it could be in a human system, if I can put it that way. You see, this open ajna center is wide open. Same with the head center up here. These two centers have no activations whatsoever. There's nothing pointing towards them either. And so these themes truly have nothing to do with the individual in their life. These themes of inspiration and certainty. This person doesn't have to worry about, do things matter to me or not? Is this really important? And in truth, that was inverted, because this is the important question to ask. Is this important here? Because the thing about this person with this undefined head center is there is no fixed sense of inspiration in the life. And so we can be preoccupied with what doesn't matter. And you know how trippy that is? This is somebody who's avoiding conflict. They're avoiding the truth because they're busy with things that don't matter. They're certain that they're right, and they're going to hold on to anybody that believes in them, because then at least then they feel good and they have a sense of direction in life. And so you might notice that I'm moving my cursor over different energy centers when I'm speaking, and this is to let you know when I'm speaking about a certain center's keynote and a certain center's function. For you see, it's this open throat center that has this potential and this need to gather attention. It's like, I need to gather attention. I don't feel good. I don't know where I'm going. I feel like I'm worthless, and I want to avoid that. So how am I going to get attention? Well, I'm going to be certain about something that doesn't matter. And then somebody's going to get my attention. Somebody's going to see me, and they're going to say something about it, and then I have attention, and that's great. I've been validated on some level. I am worthy of attention. And you know how destructive that is, to allow that thinking mind to rule your life? For you see, each one of these open centers, they are portals. They are pulls. They're like a vortex pulling your mind into these themes. In this open solar plexus, it's pulling this person into, I am unworthy because I was not able to fulfill the projection somebody placed on me when I actually put my mind to it. When I tried to do something about it. I tried to give them what they wanted, it didn't work at all, and thus I am unworthy. And that's what this person is going through. That's what their mind is going through. It has nothing to do with the real person. Nothing at all. For you see, these open centers aren't fixed. They don't relate to your unique contribution to the whole. That's what's the most interesting thing. And that's why I love talking about differentiation down here, because we have a 952, we have a defined channel, we have a generator with fixed adrenal pressure and the capacity to wait, to sit down and do nothing for a moment and concentrate. And what are they concentrating on? Well, if their mind rules their life, if they're thinking about their thinking about their thinking about their thinking about things, then they're being caught up in holding on to things that are bad for them to prove their worth. Because then at least they have a direction in life because someone is around them. And when that person is upset that's around them, well, you know, they're going to avoid the truth and they're going to pretend to be certain about something that doesn't matter in order to maintain that attention they have received from that person who makes them feel good, gives them a direction in their life, and allows this sensation of worthiness to exist because they have no fixed way of determining their own worth. And so the mind is being pulled into all these centers endlessly until this definition has a chance to live, until the sacral, when it says yes, when it says no, that it is honored. And there's a lot of nuance in understanding what it means when the sacral says yes or when it says no. Fundamentally, I see it as similar to the vortex. When the sacral is saying yes to something, it is like a vortex pulling that thing into it, into its embeddability, into its fractality and its core and the nature of generated reality itself. And that's what the sacral is doing when it says yes. It means that I can embed this within myself and then share it outside of me, and we can all build up from there. When it says no, there's instead repulsion, there's this pushing away, there's this closing off from an energy, a person, a place, or a thing. And so for the sacral being, for the generator or a type, to listen to that yes or no, and to be in congruence with their own nature, so that they can actually integrate and expand this world around them into a big, beautiful picture, and we can exist in a signature of satisfaction. For you see, all this that I've described, all these open center poles, that this person is going to be very concentrated about. You know, it'll be an intentional thing. Because they have this energy of concentration. And if you look at this carefully, you can see that there's a black line going all the way up and down between the sacral and the root. This means there's conscious awareness of this. There's also an unconscious focus. There's an unconscious detail that's being picked up on that influences the whole system. And this format energy of concentration gives them a potency to what they say and do. And so if they're listening to their mind, they will only find frustration. Listening to all these open center poles, these are not self-survival strategies. The strategies we inherited from our ancestors. You see, for our ancestors, the way of the ajna, the way of the mind, this was the most recent evolved energy center and force of awareness upon this plane. And so for them, it was the binary of strategy, this or that, yes or no, binary, always, all the time, that's all there was. However, for those of us born alive today, ever since 1781 and the discovery of Uranus by William Herschel, there has been this emergence of the solar plexus within our system. As we shifted from a Saturnian body, the 7-centered classical yoga, into this 9-centered form that we see here of human design. For you see, there's new awareness on the block, the potential of solar plexus, the potential of true soul, true emotional awareness. This is possible. This is beginning to be possible. And that wasn't for our ancestors. And so we inherited all this strategic conditioning from them about how to behave. And what it results within this generator system is frustration. If you're ruled by the strategy of our ancestors, all you find is frustration. If you allow your own mutation to be alive, if you allow your generator sacral, if you allow yourself to say yes and no, if you allow your body to say yes or no, and trust that, then you have a chance to turn all of these pulls into, I need to prove my worth, I need to avoid conflict, I need to find love and direction outside myself, I need to hold on to what's bad for me because then at least I feel something, I need to find attention from other people, I need to prove that I'm certain about something so I don't appear foolish and I'm inspired by what doesn't matter. Once all of those are no longer the driving force in the life, there is a chance for each of those to flip into wisdom of, I know what is worthy, I know what is truly valuable or not, I know the truth and I'm not afraid of conflict, I know what is good for me and that is what I hold on to. I know that I love myself and therefore I don't need to find love outside of myself. I am made up of love. I don't need to gather attention because I know how the mechanics of attention work. I know how to gather attention. I know how to disperse attention. It's not a big deal. I know that I'll never be certain about anything in life. I know that nothing is certain. My mind can never be certain. And the weight of what doesn't matter is no longer the most important pressure causing me to think. Once those wisdom potentials are open, it's only possible through trusting the sacral response. For you see, in those not self pulls, you're pulled away from the no in here and you pretend it was a yes. And then you're in a space where you can't integrate. You're in a space where you're learning what you can't actually share. So you're not actually learning anything. And that for me was a lot of school. Like, I didn't care to be in ordinary school. I learned all kinds of stuff that I'd never shared because it didn't mean anything to me. And so now that I'm thankfully out of school, as a generator myself, I can exist in a satisfied frequency, like this person could as well. For you see, as generators, we are the force that is generating the primary frequency of reality that others have to deal with. And when all those not self poles are ruling your life, it's frustration, pure frustration. And it doesn't have to be that way. So if you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out, or at least look forward to the next episode. Take care. Bye for now.